ask God, why me? And it's so funny because I know God be like, girl, this nigga has cheated on you 5 times and slept with your sister, X, Y, and Z, and yet you still ask me why I took him out. That, this relationship was the best I could do. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You can tell by the title, we gonna be getting into it today. So y'all, this topic actually came from something that I feel like I have been dealing with, and I wanted to kind of speak on it because I feel like a lot of us go through things, especially heartbreak. Initially it is shattering, to not be with the person that you feel like you gave your all to. I feel like every person on this planet really can relate to this. In this video, I will be just discussing, some different perspectives that I took on throughout healing from this process that I can give to help speed the process to recovery. So essentially, I was actually in a relationship with a man for 7-8 years, because it's kind of an on and off relationship, how those toxic relationships be. And when it finally ended, it was definitely heartbreaking to me, even though I wasn't completely happy in the relationship, which that is what makes it not funny, but it makes it so, crazy that, a lot of times these relationships that we leave or that end, we are hurt by it, although throughout the relationship there were many times that we were either disrespected, mistreated, unheard, unseen. Yet, instead of rejoicing when we get out of these situations, we ask God, why me? And it's so funny because I know God be like, girl, this nigga has cheated on you 5 times and slept with your sister, X, Y, and Z, and yet you still ask me why I took him out of your life, which is the funny part about it. I think that the biggest lesson that I learned is, we don't know as much as we think we know, because essentially while we are with these people, we feel like, this is our match made in his, this is my person, this is my soulmate, this is my husband, this is my king, we doing all this. And in reality, we don't know if what we saying is true. And we also don't know that if what we saying is true, how long, it's gonna last. A lot of times we get in these relationships with people and we just feel like, that's it. This is done. I would speak for women. I feel like women, we get in relationships and we feel like this is our person. Like we plan our whole life. We plan our whole life around this individual because, we want to make it work. When we pour into something, we want to see it flourish. We want to be able to, utilize that to benefit both parties. Women, I feel like we do things. I can't say all women, and I don't want to speak just solely for women, but I feel like I can only speak from a woman's perspective. The biggest thing I did was realize that I don't know what I think I know. We are not God, and we are not all knowing. We're not the universe to know if this is the best we could do or if this is a person that we were supposed to be with, because we can only know what we see, what we hear, and we don't know essentially what they're doing behind our back. We don't know what they're saying to other people about us. We don't know their thoughts, how they feel about us. Even though they may say these things, you can say anything, and that doesn't necessarily make it true. So I feel like, realizing that I don't know anything, I don't know what I think I know, allowed me to fully, release, control, and surrender to, what the universe and what God has for me. When we feel like, oh, that was my one, that was my person, I feel like that's why we hold on to situations, because we feel like we losing something. We feel like it's a loss. We feel like, we did something. Like, what did we do wrong to have this happen? No, baby, you didn't do anything wrong. Actually, this is a blessing, and that's how we should really look at it, because, a lot of times we may think we know more than what we really know. And, as time progresses, that's when we truly find out, like, okay, I actually found somebody better. I actually found somebody more aligned. I mean, that's how it actually works. We get into these relationships, we go through heartbreak, And then as time goes on, we heal, we meet other people who we feel even more aligned with. And if we don't meet anybody, us being single, we feel rejoiced to just be single and actually get time to pour into ourselves. So a lot of the times in these relationships, and when they do end up ending, they be blessings in disguise, you know, because again, we don't know what we think we know. And I feel like once we get to that point and we learn to surrender to what God has for us or what the universe has for us, then that's when we can truly benefit from a situation that was ended for our benefit. Because I can speak from, you know, personal experience. You know, I did not want my relationship to end. This is like my first real relationship, and it was something that I wanted to last forever. And when I actually came to the realization that, you know, maybe this isn't my person, you know, I still didn't leave immediately. It still took me a long time to leave. So I feel like a lot of times, you know, God will remove people, God will remove us out of situations because it's not you, it's not them. This was just, you know, a person that was meant to teach you things, you know, about yourself, and did you learn them? Because I can say that while I was in a relationship, there was a lot of things that I didn't know about myself that, you know, I didn't care that I didn't know. I didn't care that I didn't know my hobbies. I didn't care that I didn't have, you know, it all figured out because, you know, I had my man and we was going to figure it out together. One thing I learned is that even though you are in a relationship, you are still an individual. You know, I may be in a relationship, but I am still an individual who has their own destiny, own path, own goals, own things that I need to heal from, and that being in a relationship doesn't negate you from that. Just because you have a partner does not mean that you should not be doing the work or you should not be investing in yourself. And that's something that I didn't do. I didn't invest in myself. I didn't really care about what my wants were. I mean, I cared about them, of course, but, you know, I always put another person before me. While I was in this relationship, you know, I would always put somebody's needs before me. And I never really, I mean, I ain't gonna say I didn't notice that I did it, but I can say that, you know, I didn't realize how much of a problem it was. And I didn't realize why I was doing it. And then when I finally left the relationship, I was able to realize that, you know, I have always put myself second. You know, that is a problem of thinking that, you know, to be a good person, like, you always have to put yourself second. You have to bend over backwards. You know, I just grew up believing that, you know, if you're a good girl, you know, you do things for people, you put others before yourself. And I grew up in a, you know, religious background, so I feel like that also contributed to that. And I didn't realize that I did that, because if you would have asked me, like, do you put people before yourself? I would probably say, like, no, I put myself first. But after I separated from the relationship, I was able to actually view myself from a different lens, and I was able to see, you know, the error of my ways. And not only that, there were other things that I also noticed about myself that, you know, I didn't necessarily like. You know, I didn't necessarily agree with the way I was behaving in certain situations. Me receiving the blessing of, you know, the end of that relationship allowed me to have time to fully pour and invest in myself. Relationship ending is definitely always a blessing, because if it ended, it was not meant to be. And you should take advantage of, you know, the blessing that you've been given. Because I can say that if a relationship hadn't ended, I would not be where I am today. I would not be as mentally strong as I am. I would not know myself as well as I know myself today. I would not even be on YouTube. Like, I would not even be starting my YouTube channel, because, you know, I just wasn't in that space to be able to, you know, express my ideas. So that's really all I wanted to say. You know, just keep moving forward. If you just ended a relationship or got out of a relationship, just keep moving forward, because you may not understand now, but as time progresses, you will understand. Okay, there's nothing that you can do if somebody decides that they don't want to be with you. No matter if you ask them why, or you try to sympathize with the reasoning behind it, it does not matter. All that matters is the action. And the action was that ultimately either it ended because of differences, betrayal, whatever the reason is, it was for a reason. And that reason was for you to be released, so you can go on your own path and discover your own destiny. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. That's really what I wanted to reiterate, is to, you know, allow God to work. If it happened, let it happen. Don't question it. Keep moving forward. And as time progresses, you will see why it happened. You know, it all makes sense later. So thank you guys for tuning in to this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it or took something from that. I wanted to give a different perspective than what we are used to hearing. So I hope it resonated with you guys, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.